Oh. Okay, how about now? Okay. I had, for some reason, computer audio was on. Still trying to get the Mac concept working. Hey. Okay, very good. All right. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Okay, so let's first of all, where am I? I want to go into. I kind of changed everything around. TradingView has like these little sections now, so it makes it a lot easier to organize everything by sector. Let's just see if there's any trade setting up, and then I'm going to talk about all the changes that we that I've implemented, and then we'll talk a little bit about the cheat sheet and everything else that I want to go through. So looking first, let's look at futures, because I don't want to look at NASDAQ. So futures, nothing is at the lows, so no trades there. On oil, we are off the highs. Gold, we are getting close to the highs, but no trades. In crypto, we're off the lows. So no trades all happened just a little bit before we started. So there's just no trades setting up right now for us, which is fine. We'll sit tight. So a very, very key thing that I have changed is how we actually execute the bounce off the lows. And I think I need to demonstrate this with, well, let's go big screen. It doesn't matter. We'll look at it at Bitcoin. First, I'm going to show you how the candles look normally. Then I'm going to show you how I adjusted the candles so that you guys can see what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Now, let's actually do this, and we do this. Okay, so this is how candles look normally, right? Candles look normally. I'm going to get big. Now let's just, by the way, everybody let me know if you guys are seeing the screen big enough, right? Is this visible to everybody? Well, give me a yes. Okay, all right, good. So, our old strategy was, okay, hits a low, we get a green candle, we get long, right? That's not what we're going to do now. We're going to have one additional condition, which is it hits a low, we get a green candle. The green candle close, the close over here, must be higher than the open of the prior candle. That shows us that buyers have taken control, that there is a strength of flow instead of just turn of price. So we need a turn of price and a strength of flow, right? So in this particular case, that's a long in this condition, and we get long. Now, if we don't get that, like let's just say, here's a, imagine this was a long. Here's a candle, that's not a buy. Here's a candle, that's not a buy, right? When does it become a buy? It becomes a buy here. So the next candle that shows a higher close than prior close, I mean, obviously this is a fictitious example, but this would be your trigger to get long. Now, this is especially important on FX. So if I were to go to FX charts, let me go to FX charts. Let's just go to the majors. So yeah, here's a great example. Actually, so here's Euro Yen. We actually have a trade in Euro Yen. That's like a legitimate trade in Euro Yen. I'm going to trade it at 10,000 units. I'll get into that why. So let's get long, Shift B, and we will trade this with an 11, 10 target, and we'll let that play out. And so this is what you're seeing here is I've eliminated. So let's go back to this over here. I've just eliminated the wicks. What I did is I made the wicks, I'll show you, I'll go into the settings. I made the wicks white so they blend into the background. And I did this and apply to all so that you can see very, very easily, if the wicks don't distract you, from the highs and the lows, right? So when you look at euro yen over here, you can clearly see that the close here was higher than the close prior. This was the bounce candle. Now this, it could certainly die out on us, which is fine. And we may have to go to level 2, which is also fine. But the point being is that you have this terrific opportunity to be able to see this visually clearly, but more importantly, to avoid as many false positives as possible, right? A lot of times the small candle is a false positive. Here's a good example of a false positive that happens. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's always it's going to stop you out regardless. But more often than not, when you have that change of flow in combination with a change of price, you absolutely have a much better setup, and especially on FX, where you have lots and lots of different things that you need. So actually, let me change. Why is this? What is this? This is they should have the crosses. The crosses thing. Why is this? Okay. So speaking of crosses and everything else, we can just take a look and see what's possibly setting up. So euro yen clearly sets up because it broke the 50 level from the 31 level, and looking for a bounce. It may this bounce may fail, but this is going to be a good area to get involved in. I'm actually, I think, running pound CAD. Yeah, this is not working right now because I was long. I waited over here for this trade, but it's the stop is at around here, right? Because the entry was around 05. Did not, I think it just missed my target here on spread. So I have to be patient. And again, spreads on Euro CAD are much worse. Aussie CAD was another one that I had that was working. That was you see how I got long. I got long on this candle over here. It's a good entry, 91. It went to like 97, and then basically just kind of stagnating right now. But it's basically I'm floating these two in addition. This is just my own account as turn trades in FX. What this does is it slows down your entry. It also hopefully avoids false positives as much as possible. It's definitely, you're going to be late on a couple of trades, but remember, if you're late from the bottom, you really have ample room for a turn. In other words, if it's going to turn, it's going to turn. It doesn't matter if you're late one candle. But if you're early one candle, you're just going to get stopped out, and that just creates more of a risk for you than you need. So there's an asymmetric value to being more confident in the turn. And it doesn't mean that doesn't necessarily mean that the turn happens, because sometimes it doesn't. But that's just the tweak that I've put in. All right, let's go back to our 1 minute charts and see what's going on over here. Nothing much, right? So everybody is essentially, where's oil? Yeah, oil really hit the highs earlier today, and hasn't done anything. As a matter of fact, I think oil could come down a little bit because we're seeing a lot of risk off flows. So oil may get a little bit of profit taking. So we'll be looking to see if we can buy oil on the dip. So the second thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, which is important, really, really important, is, let me see, where's my thing? Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Is I updated the my sheet. Oh, here it is. Sorry, I updated my spreadsheet, and with a very, very, very important note here, because this is something I sort of figured out myself on Friday as I was trading pound. And I wanted to make sure you guys avoid this possible scenario. So what you need to understand is if you're trading in any kind of a regulated jurisdiction, if you're ASIC in Australia, FCA on the UK, and by the way, so if you have 100-to-1 leverage or 200-to-1 leverage, 100-to-1, nothing I say really matters. You can ignore everything I say. But quite a lot of you are under jurisdiction. Certainly if you're in the US, you're under jurisdiction, and many of you in Europe are under jurisdiction, many of you in Australia are under jurisdiction. And we need to understand is that you cannot trade this strategy, literally cannot trade this strategy if you're in any of these jurisdictional areas, unless you basically start with 1/10 your account size. So if you have a $10,000 account, your level one must be 1,000, and then, in increments like that. And the reason why is because when we get to level 8, we're basically, between 120 to 160,000, so 160 times our lever. Now, if you start at 110, at 1/10 of a size, you're at 10x, you're 10 times leverage. You are underneath everybody's limits. And even if you have some of these limits are like, 25 to 1 or 50 to 1, they're actually false. Like, for example, pound is in the US is really only 20 to 1 under certain brokers. So they're not, the point is, you will literally not be able to execute the single most important trades, the 7 and 8 trades, the ones that could resolve everything for you. You just literally will not be able, you'll be shut out of them. And if you don't want to be shut out of them, if you don't want that a possibility, you have to respect these levels. Now, if you're trading at 100 to 1, 200 to 1, 500 to 1, it doesn't matter. If you're trading futures in the US, ironically enough, it doesn't matter, because here's the irony of the whole thing. US futures don't have a hard stop. So the Chicago Mercantile Exchange suggests you have a 10 to 1 leverage. So they say you need $16,000 for the big NASDAQ, 160,000 NASDAQ, or $1,600 for the 16,000 NASDAQ to cover, right? But brokers basically set their own limits. And for example, my broker AMP just says you need $100. So they're effectively offering me 160 to 1 leverage. So I actually only need a $10,000 account to trade a $16,000. I can trade essentially at 1 to 1, not 1/10 to 1, but 1 to 1 on futures. But again, very important that if I'm trading if I'm trading NASDAQ on futures, I cannot trade anything else until the NASDAQ trade is resolved, because otherwise I'm going to run into trouble with leverage. So you need to really, really, really understand the rules of leverage, how they apply to you and whether they don't apply to you, in order to be successful. Now, if you're going to say, oh, you know what, it's just too small, these are too small levels for me to trade, that's fine. Then just accept the fact that you probably, you may not be able to resolve 7 or 8, or understand that you can do many more trades under that condition, especially if you're in FX. You could certainly assume 3, 4, 5 trades at the same time, because it's very, very unlikely that FX is going to, all of them are going to go to level 8 at one time. And therefore, you make your money by multiple size. Now, that's going to be a lot easier once we have the tool in place, once we have the ability to kind of set the trade and then let the algo automatically run the whole cycle, right? I mean, let's say you have 10 currency pairs you're watching. Under the ideal conditions that we're going to have, you'll just set, like, for example, I would have set the dollar yen cycle now, right, into my first trade. And if I got stopped out, the algo would have just simply run the whole trade until it's all ends in profit. And I have to worry about level 2, level 3, level 4. That's a lot easier kind of a management structure than having to say, you have 10 trades, and you have 4 levels in each. So it means you have to do 40 different trades a day. It just becomes incredibly time consuming and, attention grabbing. But, let's say if you trade small and you do 10 trades a day, you're going to grow the account very, very nicely. And the point is, do you want to have like 95%? Let's just say, for argument's sake, I have a $20,000 account. I am 95% confident that I can make, let's say, $7,000 on a 20, like I can make 30% on that account by the end of the year if I trade these rules, very, very small rules. That's basically your, your offer here, versus, let's say, oh, I'm really only like, 20% confident that I'll be able to make 100% on this account, because then I have to assume larger size or different kind of bets, or that are not as accurate, they don't resolve as quickly, as so on and so forth. So it all really comes down to degree of confidence and degree of accuracy. Speaking of degree of confidence and degree of accuracy, Euro Yen takes us out now. So, we're still in the manual world, and that means we have to be very patient now, because now we have to, wait until we get a green candle that beats the high, right? That's very likely going to be 2 or 3 candles from now. So, we just have to be very patient. And as you can see on a, this is why, and the reason I hate trading FX or any of these, longer term instruments, because they just take forever to, to trigger. They take forever to resolve. They're harder, they require an enormous amount of attention. Whereas the 1 minute charts, we just come in for an hour, find the setups and trade them. Now, sometimes, we don't get a lot of setups showing up, but regardless, even if I'd rather spend 2 hours on a 1 minute chart than spend 20 hours on a 50-minute chart. But on the other hand, if I can set it and forget it, which I'm going to be able to do, then that becomes a very, very different approach. So anyways, those are very, very key points everybody needs to absorb. I'll make a video on all of this today that's going to explain it all in detail, but you need to understand that, if you want to trade with a 95% of confidence, then you need to adhere to these rules religiously. Otherwise, your ability to execute just won't be there. Now, again, if you're trading 100 to 1, 200 to 1, 300 to 1, you can ignore all my shit and just, because you have plenty of credit. But we are credit constrained in the regulatory world, and therefore we have to play by the rules that are given to us. All right, let's run through what's going on over here. Where's crypto? Crypto doing nothing, but crypto is coming into the lows here. By the way, one of the things you need to adjust on these charts is, remember, there are wicks here that are touching the lows. You just don't see them because I've whited them out. So you kind of have to just get used to the idea. Yes, this is testing the lows perhaps. But I am, and you can see easily, so where's the low on this thing? So that's a 472. The low here is 388. So it hasn't quite tested the lows here, but it won't, it won't show you the lows occasionally because remember, I've whited out the wicks just so that I can really, really clearly see the candle beating candle. Okay. So let me, any questions on anything that I just dumped on you? Because I gave you lots and lots of different pointers here. It looks like all of crypto is inching. Oh, Solana is actually there. So remember, our whole rule, we're going to do one instrument per structure. Which, by the way, what the hell is my Solana hotkeys? Hang on a second. Shoot, what the fuck is my Solana? Oh, S. Okay. Okay, Solana is S. Okay, I'm gonna go long Solana here in about 20 seconds. Well, hold on. Let me just finish before I rush myself. Assuming this candle beats the high, right? I'm gonna go long. If it isn't, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. We have to wait. So like right now, this candle, yes, I want to be long this candle. If it doesn't close here, I don't want to be long here. Okay, long Solana. Okay, and we're in trade. All right, in trade on Solana here with a 51-cent target, 50 cent stop. May retrace. We're watching just crypto is now this is our one crypto trade until it resolves. We're staying with this trade. So if it's level 2, level 3, level 4, whatever, we don't care. We're trading it. It's there's nothing on the indices, right? We can just look at the what's the lows on this? So this is a 456 Low here is 470. Now listen, Dow could test the lows. That's interesting. So we'll trade the Dow for if it comes in. And again, watch the setup. We're looking for that. We want not just a turn in price, but a turn in flow. And that gives us extra confidence that we're hopefully entering at the right target. And where are we on commodities? Nothing. We're mid-range on all of those things, so not much going on over there. Have you guys been trading FX at all? I'm just curious. And do you are you much more comfortable just being waiting patiently for these setups, or do you find it annoying just like I do? I mean, I think a huge part of it is just personality driven. Yeah, so Kathy trades completely differently, and that's that's why I that's a much more, if you're trading FX, it's sort of a much more natural way of trading. I really don't think my approach to FX can be some people have the patience, but I don't have the patience. I don't think it can be traded unless we have the robot helper. But with the robot helper, it really makes it a very attractive little structure. All right, so Solana kind of died out a little bit here. By the way, I'm just curious, where's ETH? Remember, we're just trading one sector at a time, so I can't do anything much as I would like to, let's say, get into ETH or anything else. ETH, by the way, could be testing the 3,000 level, so that's interesting. Solana certainly could blow through the 135s. So that's a very, very natural stop level, and if it does, we'll go back there into the into level 2, so on and so forth. So commodities are just not. Yeah. I wonder if I wonder if you could just adjust this. Rename. Oh, you could rename this. Oh, cool. Crypto. Oh, this is so cool. So then we can just get rid of this. Wow, look at this. This is why I love, and this is equity CFDs, US equity CFDs. Oh, cool. So that makes it like nice and clean. I like this. Wow, very nice. Isn't that nice? And this would be, come on, how about just oil and gold? Gold and oil, just like, cool. Look at that. God damn, I love this. Isn't that nice? Get rid of this stupid stuff. All this little stuff that I had to do is that. And then we're just going to call US equity futures. And I mean, this is what I just don't need this big contracts. This is just US big contracts. Ah, I love this. Isn't that nice? I don't know what happened to gold. I haven't really been, watching it. I mean, I think, it's going to get a lot more volatile because the 10 years are really starting to move. And the bigger the move in the 10-year, the bigger the yields, the more volatility you're going to get in gold. Gold is really trying hard to take out that 1800 and really hold it, but so far no go. All right, so Solana is kind of drifting lower again. This is fine. I mean, it looks to me like they all want to run the round numbers. So ETH, they want to push the ETH below the 3100, Solana below 135. There's a big battle going on over here. We'll have to see how it plays out. Let's look at U.S. equity futures. Gosh, I love this. I love this little structure. So again, just to let you guys. Do you guys want me to share this with you? Should I share this with you? Let me see if I can share this. I think I can share this. How do you do this? I think you can do share list, copy link. There we go. Thank you, share. I will look. I will look right now. I'm sharing this watch list with you. Thank you. Yes, I see the. Thank you. I see the YM. Perfect. So we got the YM at lows. What time is it? Oh, it's 9:28. We're right at market open. So everything is happening. Let's go. By the way, actually, I'm curious. Let's go look at NAS. What's NAS doing? NAS is not quite there. So YM is at the lows. But here's where it gets interesting. We don't have a green that beats the. We had a big dump in the red. No green that beats the red. So we're hanging tight. We're gonna wait. Let me know if you guys like the way that this list looks, the watch list looks, because I'll make you one for FX, for crosses, and yeah, it's nice and organized, right? And it's organized by what we trade, so it's super easy to kind of do. Okay, so yes, look at this. Look how beautiful this is. So we had this green, right? Bullshit green, false positive. Had we gone long here, which would have been a standard trade, we would have been stopped out before we could breathe. Now, it's fine. We just go back again for level 2. But now we've saved ourselves a level. I mean, the whole point of our strategy is to save ourselves a level, right? Anytime we can save ourselves a level, we're saving ourselves credit and leverage factor, and we're doing a good job. Yeah. It was just one of those things I noticed, it just jumped out at me, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. We need to watch this. By the way, let's, I'm just curious, is NAS also dropping like a stone here? Are we at fresh lows in a NAS? Is this no, NAS is holding. Wow, look at that. All right, so yeah, so the trade here clearly is, the focus here is on the Dow. 350, obviously natural level for them. They took out the 400 and really took it out hard. So 350 is a possible level. Now what you're gonna see here, what's interesting about this is it's very unlikely that the next green candle is going to be a trade candle. It's going to, we have to be very patient, and it's better, because here's the whole point. Our point is to enter at the turn, right? We want to guess the turn as accurately as possible. So now, if they flush it through the 50s, they flush it through maybe they'll even flush it through the 300s. Whatever, we're gonna give them plenty of room here before we come in and put our toe in the water, and that's good. At this point, I could have been 2 or 3 levels deep into a trade, trying to resolve it, unnecessarily assuming risk. Right now, it works the other way sometimes. Sometimes it pops quickly and you miss that first trade. But I would rather, as I said, I'd rather miss the quick resolution than assume multiple level structures before it resolves. Like, in other words, I'd rather maybe take level 2 on a miss than resolve on a level 5 or level 6. Right? You guys follow me what I'm saying? Yeah, robot helper is going to be people are asking for the robot helper. Hopefully, it's work because Dougie is going to have to work. I would say realistically next week. So by next Monday, after we beta test it, should hopefully be ready for like maybe a little bit of a beta test for everybody, and before we roll it out officially. But yeah, it'll be awesome. I mean, once it's ready, the thing is going to be just great for us. Because by the way, the robot tester is going to have this logic. It's going to have the false positive logic. So it's not even going to trigger. Like the robot isn't going to take any of these bullshit trades. It's only going to take a trade when the candle beats the high. It's kind of really cool, right? Holy shit, is FX slow? Okay. Let's go. I just want to go to two screen for just 1 sec because I want to see where I'm at. So because maybe NASDAQ is going to get us involved earlier. We'll see. I'm just going to watch them both here. They're kind of slipping down. Wow, what is the spread on Solana that I am just eating so much? I guess I'm eating a lot of spread. Okay. Okay, still no signals. We're just staying very patient on the trades here. I mean, you could, if you wanted to play NASDAQ, you could, but it's not a legitimate trade because we didn't really touch the lows. Okay, Solana takes me out, but let's watch the Dow because Dow is possibly. So let's actually put Solana on here, and then we'll watch Solana. We'll watch them side by side. Okay, Solana takes me out as I thought the 35s would go, and they do. It looks like maybe 31s are going to go in ETH. So if you didn't take Solana, you might want to play ETH on this one. 33 seconds left on the Dow. Let's see where we stand on the Dow here. You know what I need to do, guys? Hang on a second. I'm sorry. I got to refresh all my hotkeys. I totally forgot. What the fuck is my hotkeys? So YM is 8. Solana is this. Okay. Sorry. Okay, 5 seconds. Looks good. Looks good. Okay, getting long the Dow. And I'm probably going to get stopped, but it's fine. No, maybe not. We'll see. Yeah, I get tagged out. Okay, we get tagged out of the Dow, but now we go to level 2. But it's a very steep sell-off, so we're just trading it hard. Refocus, and also focusing on Solana now to level 2. So we're going to go to twice. So we have basically 2 live cycles in play. And we're looking for any kind of bottoming action. Solana took it out all the way down to the 50s, 3450s, and we could be playing with this for a while. Through the 300s, wow! Just Dow just showing no mercy through the 300s. I'm trying to figure out. I wonder which. We had like a kind of bad set of data, so clearly the market is very pukey right now, and it really feels like. Remember, the first half hour is when you get all the panic hands puking out, and then the dealers buy everything up and try to reverse it a little bit to do some short squeeze of profit taking. So the longer this sells off, the likelier we're going to get a good entry for a turn. Right, we're just very patient, waiting for this thing to turn. 10 seconds on this candle, so we're right back to more negatives. Solana. Okay, so here's let's get just a little bit bigger on Solana so you guys can see it. So there's a tiny little green candle here. If this Solana green candle closes strong, that's actually a buy. So what we're looking for is a beat of the prior candle. First, we need the low, the lows to be made, and then we need a higher close than the prior candle open. That's it. Doesn't matter if the candle is green or red. That's just that's the signal for the turn and flow. So Solana looking okay. Actually, Dow, if the Dow clears the what's the high on this? 59. Dow clears 59. That'll be a trade as well. But for now, it looks like Solana is the level 2 trade. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. We're going to watch this. We're going to let this complete. I'm not going to fall for. Okay, let's get long Solana. And the Dow is not a trade, but maybe on the next candle. All right, we're in Solana, and we're trading that. The Dow now is our next point of interest. Certainly looking, 41 seconds. If it stays at these levels, that sends us a buy signal as well, a turn signal as well. We'll have to see how that plays out, but it's got to stay here. Oh, good. Okay. Oh, yeah. So Dow definitely looking nice. So Solana resolves level 2, and looks like we're going to go long Dow here at these levels. May slide on us, which is fine. We can't. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna. Ooh, I'm actually. I gotta manually close this out. This kind of slides on me. Okay, I'm gonna give us just 1 second to see if it can survive. If it goes to 50, I'll blow myself out. I should be blowing myself. The move was so fast that okay, I'm staying with this guy. I cheated a little bit. It's fine. Let me see if I can modify this. Nope, I can't even. Okay, modify now. Okay. All right. If I get tagged out, I get tagged out. It's fine. I was just trying to keep my trade in myself in trade. Okay, we're tagged out. No problem. Go to level 3 in the Dow. We resolved the crypto trade, so now we're just watching the indices trade. Oh, level 3. Sorry, that we need to adjust our sizes. And conversely, we need to bring this. Always bad habits that I always forget to do this. I'm starting to do this now better. Okay, cool. So all we need in the Dow for us to signal is a green that beats the red, right? And if it doesn't happen, if it goes to fresh lows, then we just we stay with it, and we stay at level 3, and we just let this whole thing develop as it may. In the meantime, let's just take a look at. Oh, cool. I think oil is not doing anything. Gold is not doing anything. And NASDAQ is our secondary trade, is testing the lows too, but we can't trade NASDAQ until we resolve Dow. That's our risk rules here. So we're gonna let the Dow play out. So just for argument's sake, if you weren't in the Dow, right? If you weren't in the Dow, this NASDAQ is obviously super strong candle, right? So we made lows. You get stopped out over here, probably. I think you took 98. You probably got stopped out here. This is just a massive candle, Jesus. That would be a buy here. Like regardless of how tough it is to chase this, it would still be a very strong buy. And the Dow is now, if the Dow beats the 62s, that becomes a buy. So far, it hasn't beaten it. It needs to beat the 62s for us to be a buy candle. But you can see how you have these exhaustive sell-off moves as I'm short covering pressures coming in. Didn't quite beat the highs. So we're staying put on our Dow trade and waiting for the next candle. We're going to be late. The Dow's, we're just going to be late on this candle. And we're going to have to just accept the fact that we're going to be late. In the meantime, you see how the Nas really traded strong here to the upside. It's a very powerful move. This was a very tough candle because, if I was interpretive and I could be interpretive, you could say this was good enough. Like, we've had a lot of sell-off. It was good enough. But let's see if just being late doesn't penalize me too badly. Because I'm coming in, already I would have resolved my trade here, but I'm coming in here. Oh, what in this trade? It's not letting me trade. Ah, Jesus, what's going on here? Again, bullshit. Okay, sorry. Now it took me into 2 trades. Okay, again, we're having our usual problems with execution problems with trading view. So I have to. Okay, I'm gonna have to manually probably take myself out here, right? Let's see. I can't even figure this out. Okay, let's see if this takes me out. So 21 is my profit. Okay, hopefully it keeps me in the trade. I need to see 21 as a profit. Now I'm very late. So this was a sharp bounce. I could have taken this trade over here, resolved it. I didn't get a chance. So now I'm going to be possibly getting clipped out, because remember, I'm using a very short stop. So just the retrace stop here could take me out. And that, that's just, I have to accept the rules of the game as I set them, so that I don't have as many false positives. Now this, by the way, screwed me because it did a double thing. So I have to go now. So I'm actually going to go to the large contract. I'm going to go to the large contract 2 times. Because now I have to go to 16. I'll have to be more patient with this and wait for a different bottoming pattern here. Because I'm like, I could have resolved it over here, but I was trying to be very strict to my rules of not entering on a non-beat. But you could tell this was close enough. This was really close enough on the short. So right now we have to be just patient, just waiting for the thing. I'm actually should be at level 4, but I'm at level 5 because TradingView again screwed me. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna play the hand that I'm dealt and let this thing play itself out. "24 seconds left. Obviously a red candle, so we got nothing. We could be coming back down to test the 200 and then bounce off of that, and then we might have to wait for that as a trade. So we will we'll let the market tell us when it's ready to bottom. Right now it's not. Now, as I was saying, those of you who are trading futures or just generally trading, U.S. indices, this is the reason why I really like the NAS more, because to me, I feel the NAS resolves faster than the Dow does, because it's just it's such a volatile bounce usually when it does. Okay, so I was going to say if this thing comes up to 270, holds close at 270 or higher, that's a buy candle for us, because it shows us that we have a turn in flow and price. If it doesn't, we're staying patient until this thing reverses. So it doesn't. The Dow is clearly a much weaker instrument today than NASDAQ. Maybe going out to the 200s. All right, this candle looks constructive. Let's see how it holds after 50 seconds. And it isn't. So this looks constructive. We're going to get long here. Nope. Hold on a second. Sorry. I'm holding off on this trade, just not holding up. Right. I'm going to come in right here. It kind of just retraced on me. Let's see if it kind of holds. Market slowed down a little bit, so I'm able to actually put my stops and targets off this this thing. But we'll give it a shot. So I'm trading the larger contract now because I'm larger size, and no, it doesn't hold. It was I wasn't sure. It was actually very, very hard to see. So maybe I made a mistake. The close here was 50, and the open here was 51. I actually made a mistake. My apologies. So again, it's anytime you introduce something new, you have to accept you're going to make mistakes. So I'm making a mistake here, which means I got to go to next level, which I will. Because I missed, I should have physically gauged it instead of just visually. Okay, let me okay. Okay, watching as I said, it looks like they were going to try to test the 200, which is a very, very common pattern we want to do. It's usually sometimes they break the 200 and find a lower double bottom, which is also very, very common. So we will we'll play that out. Just while this is because it's not going to give us a buy candle. I'm just curious to see what's going on in the euro yen continues. So you see how over here you're seeing no trades whatsoever, which is fine. You're not putting yourself into any levels here until you finally see some kind of a bottoming. Okay, here we go again. It looks like we're holding in front of the 200. We've got 46 seconds left, so a long time to go. But this candle is a higher low clearly. So we have to, we're going to wait and see if we can get a bounce on here. Let me just physically mark this. So the open on this was 220. 230. Sorry, the close. Okay, long shit. Oh, damn! It's really getting terrible price action here. It's just not bouncing at all. All right, let's put this over here though. Wow, very tough to trade this on a 17-point spread where everything is bouncing around. But okay, we're in at 26. And we got resolved. So we did, and now we took ourselves to 14,000 on a resolution. So I stayed faithful to the setup, and the setup finally resolved me, despite the fact that I made mistakes, despite the fact that I made entry errors, despite the fact that execution platform was against me. And this is all, I think, the key to what I do, which is I expect to fuck up. I expect the broker to screw me. I expect the exchange to screw me, because that's all part of real life of trading. I optimize for non-perfection. I optimize for failure, not for success, because if you optimize for failure, then you have a reasonable chance of success. So that's, that's how the whole thing resolved. It took me longer. I was late. I had a very, very adverse price action against me, where there's a lot of two-way movement on a very, very tight stop. I mean, the thing about this is volatility has expanded by about probably threefold, and I'm using 17-point stops, which is just minuscule in the Dow, probably too small at this point. But I'm able to survive it all. So hopefully you guys were able to resolve it too, if you were trading that with me. But now that that opens up our choices now back up to maybe NASDAQ, to anything else. Maybe if the Dow comes down, lower. You were a level behind me, Cheryl, right? Because you didn't have the bad execution that I had. I basically double bought because it didn't give me a confirm. So you had a little bit more credit, like less. Yeah, good for you. Okay, so let's just check crypto, see if there's anything on crypto side. Not quite. So I'm actually, ETH, I told you, ETH was really going to test. Look at how it tested 3,100. Boom. Look at that nice ETH trade. We didn't, we took the Solana trade. You can only take one trade per instrument, which is fine. So far we have two instruments resolved. We actually have, I think this is so now I got to go back. Sorry, I'm going to go back to my micro size. What's the low on this? Where are we on the low? Low was 17 and this is 209. We really could, I was, sorry, I hesitated. I was going to say this is a reasonable trade. Like, we've double bought on the lows. You see this candle beating the red candle. I would have gone long here. This is fine. This would have been like a good third trade, but we don't, unfortunately, I was just a little bit late in my entry. So we're going to let it go because that trade has already ran away from us. Let's see what NASDAQ is going to do. Where are we on the NASDAQ? We'll be patient. Maybe NASDAQ, NASDAQ might want to test although NASDAQ did test the round numbers here underneath 300. So everything is bouncing back. And now we just don't have any clear-cut trades, to go our way. FX seems to have just died. Let's see what FX is doing. Nothing. So we've got 15-minute charts. None of these are showing even a remote green candle. Wonder what let's just take a look at the majors, because at least I like focusing on the majors, because at least those give me now let's get rid of this. Okay, so where are we at? Cable. Oh, hey, look at this. Maybe we got a trading cable. This is clearly the lows. We got 4 minutes left in cable, right? I mean, although this didn't resolve. So this is actually a legitimate trade. So we're underneath the 3,600. This trade obviously failed because it didn't pop. And I got 4 minutes. And if I'm staying at the 88s or higher in cable, that's actually a legitimate trade. Let's look at the euro. Where's my euro? Here's euro. Same thing with the euro. I would say the same thing. So we're underneath. We're trying to resolve the 1,300. The drop below the 1,400. None of this stuff is resolved. This candle fails. This candle fails. So we've got actually two failures. So this would be level 3. If I was trading this. So we got two possible trades in FX, which is maybe the only trades we're going to get here. Let's give it a shot. So we got about 3 minutes left. We can come back to this, but let's mark the euro and the pound as our potential trades here on FX side, while we can watch the NAS and the Dow. The Dow is probing the lows. 209 is the low in the Dow. So we're effectively, this is a reasonable Dow entry. Back to my 1 minute charts, which I love. And I'm going to just set up on my own account. I want to set up the euro and the pound for my own trading pleasure here. Hang on. So 10. to it. And then euro. One. Just bear with me a sec, guys. I'm just cleaning up this whole thing. Okay. All right. So we still got time. Is this a bounce? It's gonna. This would be a bounce. If this kind, I'm a buyer here. I'm actually gonna start pushing. No buying. Not a bounce. 3, 2, 1. We're going fresh lows. Okay, fine. Let him make fresh lows. No trades. No trades. So we're starting back down from small size in the Dow to try to engage again. Do you just from my own personal? I find it much more useful to get rid of the wicks so I can really see the highs and the lows, visually. Do you guys think that we should add the wicks? Does it confuse you, like that you don't quite see it hitting the bottom because you don't see the wicks, or do you have the imagination to assume that it's hitting the bottom? Because I prefer it without the wicks because it makes it much cleaner for me to see the trade. What do I got? I got 58. Two more minutes for the 15-minute candle to close. Okay, looks like we might have a 3, 4, 2, 1. Okay, long this, and now we're gonna try and resolve this. 8. What just happened here? Why isn't this working? Okay, they did fine. God, man, everything is so slow on this thing. Okay, very hard to see, but basically my take profit is 34 on this move. It's a very big move. I guess we like this. It's 28 right now, so you can watch this. You see the bounce on the NAS was really nice and much cleaner. But it is what it is. We just, we trade this. Where am I? 34, 33, 34. Come on, get me done. Get me done. I thought we were at 34 already. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, good. So at least we get 3 instruments resolved. We got the Dow resolved twice and a Solana resolved once. Nothing in commodities today. Let's go look at the euro, and because these are okay, let's get long euros. This should be a $10,000 trade. Good thing about FX is it's so slow, you don't have to really cry about it. So we're going to get this, and it's a $10,000 trade, because remember I told you about the size of your credit in regulatory environments. And we're going to buy it even though this looks crappy. We're going to buy this. This actually cable is why isn't cable? Why don't we buy the cable? What's going on with cable? Buying cable. Oh, I bought cable twice. Oh shit. Okay, sorry. Again, screwing up. Okay, I bought euro, and euro's going against me. So you can see it's going to be one of those kind of days in FX. But okay, fine. If it goes against me, we'll have to resolve it later. Okay, let's give this a shot. I'm in my own account with these positions. Let's see if any of this stuff works. We'll give it a shot. Doesn't look like it. It looks like we're going to slide back down. So the 15-minute candle. 15-minute candle gave us a false signal, and so we're probably going to get stopped out on FX again, and we're going to have to battle with this probably for another couple of hours. I'll let you know at what level and how long it took to resolve this, but for now I'm engaged, so I'm going to let it play out. Yeah, it's hard. It looks worse than it does because these price levels are just so small. So I'm actually only down like a pip on the on this. Okay. So any questions, guys? Anything else on your mind? Hopefully you guys had a lot of fun. You definitely can, you can start, I think hopefully you can see the value add of kind of waiting patiently on this. I'm going to get out of FX because I despise FX, you know me. There should be plenty of trades in, I mean, if we're going to touch the lows again in the NASDAQ, which we very, very well might, touch the lows again in the Dow, which we very well might, maybe run the highs in oil. There should be like some nice trades, the rest of the day, everywhere else. So let me know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Any final questions? Anything else on your mind? Are we good? So for the live session, we did 2 Dows, 1 Solana. Not a big point day today because it was like only, was that 17 2 times, that's 34 plus 5, about 39 points, so it's a little bit underneath what we usually try and do, about 55 to 60, but it worked. It's fine. Okay. Everybody have a great day. Any final thoughts? You guys are good? All right. So I'll see you guys, Asia, if you want to join me in Asia. Hopefully you guys had a good day. Remember, there should be lots of nice trades on the indices for us. So keep those going. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.